Hi, I'm Ben Feferman.
And I'm Rachel.
And welcome to Esports Unfiltered, where every week we are breaking down the news, stories, and scandals in the esports industry. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about should streamers have rating and Twitch's new beta test of their safety score system, their brand safety score system.
Right, so this idea of a brand safety score is interesting, that as a brand, you may want to only advertise on, let's just use the movie terms, G or PG or R and things like that based on your product and your company. So that kind of makes a little sense. But this kind of has the potential to maybe morph into something else, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first of all, we need to talk about what even is going into making these decisions, because the games that you're playing, obviously they already have their own rating. So like Fortnite has its own ESRB rating, so does Call of Duty, so do all of these things. But it's going to come down to really like the behavior and the language that the streamer is using, which I think is opening a door to like some very uncomfortable and not okay conversations to be had, specifically for like women or other people who are maybe a little more controversial or aggressive on stream. And for people who, I don't know, maybe are like religious on stream or other things like that like what is determining your rating here?
Right, so I think let's break it down. So we're just suggesting, this is not happening yet with streamers, that Twitch might assign a rating, a viewer rating to all these streamers and have different levels. So right now we're just guessing and sort of hypothesizing what that could look like and if it's good or bad for the industry. So if I'm gonna look at the pros to something like this, I'm gonna have to start and wear my parent hat. So as a parent, if my kids go on Twitch, I have no idea really who parents all know who they're watching, but I don't really know the content of the stream, and then unless you watch it and everything. So this, just like I'm not gonna watch every single show that my kids watch, even though I should, this hopefully makes that job a little bit easier for parents to say, maybe create a filter, my kids can only watch G-rated streamers or PG-rated streamers. I don't need to worry if my kids are gonna watch XQC or Dr. Disrespect, or there must be others. There's probably a lot. Anyway, I don't need to worry about what they're watching. It gives me a little bit of parental control. But then the other side is, and we've talked about this before, Twitch is already the judge, jury, and executioner. They're already deciding who's banned, not banned, how long, all this power. Does this just give Twitch way more power than they need? That's the other concern from the other side of this.
Well, Twitch does have a lot of power, and in certain cases we have seen them, sort of abuse that power. Or it's been perceived that they've abused that power. Whether or not they agree is up to them. But we've seen situations already with women getting their streams taken down for using certain language because they're addressing the content that's happening in their chat that's directed at them. So we can't control the chat, the streamer can't control the chat, and neither can Twitch or this like system of ad safety or the scoring system. So maybe this is a generally wholesome streamer, and then all of a sudden, there's these toxic people from the community coming into their chat and basically egging them on, and then going ahead and reporting them after they egg them on, so that their stream is being damaged, and that in turn is going to damage their brand safety score. So if we're going to be giving streamers these ratings, we need to talk about how we're going to control the chat. Like Twitch has kind of
it's a big part
solving
of it.
all these other problems, except for this one really big problem, which is like a toxic community that's like lying under the shadows that just no one wants to fix or address.
Gotta love the chat.
Yeah.
The anonymous chat where you can say whatever you want. I also find myself trash talking so much in chat.
Well,
I don't know.
Trash talk is one thing.
But right, and I'm playing it, PG. I can only imagine if I get a little bit of enjoyment out of trash talking, what would someone who is way worse than me as a human being do in the chat?
Exactly.
And then I understand how crazy it gets. So on the topic of the doc, maybe just for fun, let me just tell why I think he got banned and why all the nonsense surrounding this thing. So right out of the gate, we know it's not something nefarious like sexual assault or any racial slurs, things like that they would have come out already. And another platform like Twitch and all of his sponsors would have dropped him as well, which is not really the case. He's already making good money and has a lot of good sponsors and playing in tournaments, etc. So it has to be something contractual. It has to be something that's maybe personal with Twitch. And I've heard a lot of different theories on it, and I'm kind of piecing together a few different ones that I've heard that kind of make sense. And at the end of the day, this whole thing, I think when we're talking about Mixer and when Mixer went out of business, I think his ban has to do with negotiating with Twitch in bad faith. That I believe somewhere along the line, either he used a contract offer for Mixer that was not real, that was fake, in order to leverage a better payment from Twitch. Maybe he lied about it. Something in that contract negotiation related to Twitch, I think, is the reason. And I bet his ban is probably personal. I think he did something that pissed off Twitch. And they're just like, we don't need to pay him the potentially $20 million or so. Again, a ninja type deal that he was being promised. And I think they just wanted to set an example out of him. So that's my theory around him. And I think Mixer going under really solidified that. And there's been a few people who have kind of touched on that. This is not a original, didn't come up with this myself. This is just internalizing a lot of different theories. And I think that one is probably the best one and the most likely situation.
Whether or not that's most likely or not, that definitely gives Twitch and the advertisers as well, I think, a lot of power in this situation, probably too much power over whether, like, they didn't just ban him, you know, like from advertising or like being affiliate. They were like, don't come back here ever again. And it's like, why can't he live stream? You let so many other people do like completely ridiculous things on live stream. So then you could have just said, oh, you can't be a partner, you can't be an affiliate. You could have said a lot of things, but they did take it a little far. I think it was obviously probably something like you said, it was personal, and that leaves the question open, is are personal things like that gonna go into the scoring system? And
Great, yes.
You know, who's being actually shown to these advertisers? If I'm an advertiser and I give them a bunch of, you know, specific things that I want, they're gonna show me a bunch of people. Who's determining who's getting shown and who's getting that exposure to the advertisers? Like, is there gonna be like some kind of like paid system now where I can like promote myself to like get to the top of like this, like the system of my little category or whatever? It just, I think it's an unethical way to source your influencers for marketing. The best way is obviously to create these organic relationships with them, not to use these like algorithms that, you know, are not foolproof.
Yeah, and for those of you who know me or watch the show, hopefully that's everybody, but you all watch it and I know it's so big and everything. I'm all about free speech. I'm a big proponent of free speech. I'm very against censorship, and this does seem like a sort of veiled attempt at censorship. And even, for example, what if we know from data that people that are, you know, PG rated get more ad money than people who are 18 plus rated? And then it's all of a sudden, I can't stand, you know, I don't like all the fact checking on Facebook and Instagram, only because I just don't believe that it's really objective. And it's almost like this is gonna happen here. People are gonna watch the streams and say, oh, he said this and it has to be here, or he played that game, but for 6 minutes instead of the 13 we're gonna allow. And so it really, I think, is gonna take away from, it's gonna give Twitch more power to sort of censor. And I think content creators are gonna be too worried about their score and what rating and staying in here. So I kind of think I'm gonna say I'm against it. But then again, I don't want my kids watching foul-mouthed streamers and people in the chat.
Well, that would be different,
tough one.
though. Like, we can impose a sort of viewer rating. And that would be for, you know, like for kids, or for like, you know, maybe you don't want to watch certain types of content. And right now they have that mature setting, but there's more than just like mature. There's like a range, right? We have G, we have PG, there's PG-13 or 14 or whatever, right? So there's all those ratings that could be brought to Twitch. We do need to still ask questions about what determines that, because again, the chat's unpredictable. But this is for brands. So I think it gives them too much power. It gives them too much power to nitpick at these things and pull, oh, well, you did this kind of out of nowhere. Sort of like there's gonna be clauses in this situation that are like whatever they want it to be, right?
Yeah, you're
so
a G
like
streamer, but then you do this one thing and now you're PG, then you gotta appeal it, and then there's, yeah, like it's gonna be discussed all the time. Who's rated this and who's rated that. Like I'm a up and coming streamer with my 300 or 400 followers on Twitch. What rating would I get, and what rating are you gonna get? You're a streamer, and Alex streams, and are we all gonna be rated by Twitch? Like, how are they gonna do this? So I think it's a cool idea to explore, and there's benefits in protecting your community. But yeah, we all definitely have to be really cognizant of like how much more power are we gonna give to Twitch, and knowing their track record, I think it could be kind of explosive. So let us know what you think. Should Twitch have viewer ratings for streamers, for different channels, tournaments, etc.? Is it a good idea? Or is it a terrible idea? We want to know what you think in chat. I'm Ben Feferman.
I'm Rachel.
Thanks for watching Esports Unfiltered, and stay classy, Minnesota. I don't need to worry about my hair being all over the place now.
Oh yeah, your hair's gone.
Look at that.
Wow.